Hello, 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 and welcome to the Penguins Collective podcast. My name is Louie, and this black square to my left is.
Josh.
Hey,
I don't know what's going on.
All right, well, you should probably figure it out because we. Whoa, we are upside down.
Buddy. Yeah, buddy.
If you can't see what's going on right now, Josh has no idea how to operate a computer and is just struggling to get his webcam. No one really calls it a webcam anymore. People call it, I don't know, anything but that. A camera? Just a camera? Hey! We're two brothers who love to talk about hockey.
Especially the Pittsburgh Penguins, when our technology works.
But guess what? The Pittsburgh Penguins officially listened to the Penguins Collective podcast. They knew how much was on the line. They knew I had my panic button ready to go to press. They did not disappoint tonight. The Pittsburgh Penguins came into Philadelphia, literally took a crap on center ice and said, "You can't control us." 4-1, the Pittsburgh Penguins defeat the Philadelphia Flyers while there was bloodshed on the ice. While everyone was looking good tonight, the hero of the story is Nedeljkovic. And the big headline is Jari's job in trouble now that the Penguins are back in charge of their own destiny? But before we get into that, thank you guys so much for joining this episode. I know there's things going on in the world. I know there's two college teams trying to battle it out. But the real battle was happening in Philadelphia. And now that is over. So your all attention should be right here on this screen. So thank you guys for joining us on X, on YouTube, and on Twitch. Hockey's more important. Let's focus on that. Thank you guys for joining in the chat. Let's get the conversation started. Josh, how about them Pens, huh?
Yeah, great game. Like you said, I didn't think it was a must-win, but you were pounding the table saying it was a must-win. But it was definitely a good game. And it was definitely, just before I get into my thoughts on the specifics of the game, the one thing I thought about, as this game was winding down in the third, I was thinking, I will take this game against a divisional opponent, against the Philadelphia Flyers, if it means we had to lose to the Buffalo Sabres. Because as I was saying it, I was thinking, man, what if we beat the Sabres? Would we have would we have had this type of game? I don't know.
Or Josh, you know what happened, right? They're in Pittsburgh. They just faced Buffalo. They lost. They're disappointed. What do? They pull up YouTube. Okay, they pull up YouTube. Check in on their favorite podcast. What are these stooges saying? What is the temperature of the fans? And they're looking and they're going, man, this guy in a blue hoodie is upset. And he has every right to be upset. And we should go out there and do exactly what he says. Get people down in front of the net, put pucks on net, make sure we wake up and start meeting them where they're at. And wouldn't you know, what was the big thing I said? Players need to understand their roles. Oh boy, did they understand their roles today. Seriously, they came to play. Not only did they come to play, I've also been preaching that we should be a little more physical, a little more intimidating, right? We're the Pittsburgh Penguins. I know our name is silly, but we should be a little more intimidating than that. And here we are. We are taking the Philadelphia Flyers, taking their game and shoving it right back in their face. That's a beautiful quote. And that's exactly what happened. The Pittsburgh Penguins absolutely dominated tonight. Not only, I know the captain didn't get any points tonight, but he looked good. I know Erik Karlsson looked phenomenal. And the guy that is back from injury that's been playing phenomenal, Rickard Rakell, once again scores. This team is rolling. Not only did we get a power play goal thanks to Erik Karlsson, he's coming back into it. Rickard Rakell's playing good. That first line is playing good. Gensel looked great without the puck. Crosby looked great without the puck. Malkin throwing punches. Letang bleeding from the forehead as he's defending Nedeljkovic. And Nedeljkovic himself looking phenomenal in net, proving that could he be a starter or no? He knows that, hey, Jari's in the dumps. I need to play good. I need to play good so he can rest, so he can get emotionally recovered to come back and be the starter. Not only that, we had one shining star look even better tonight. Drew O'Connor looked phenomenal tonight as he is making passes like he's never done before, like he belongs on this team and on the first line. That beautiful pass to Evgeny Malkin, he literally walked it in, popped it right over the shoulder. That gave us the 4-1. The Pittsburgh Penguins are now back in control of their own destiny. Okay, that was the whole point of last game's freakout. We lost to the Sabres. Now we're 6 points out. What's going to happen? Philadelphia Flyers game is a must win to control our destiny going forward. Now, the Pittsburgh Penguins knew that, came in today, took that game, shoved it in their face, and now we're back on track to become a playoff team. Josh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to add to that. You pretty much took everything I was going to talk about. But
I'm here for the people,
game,
Josh. I'm here for the people.
It was great. I mean, I was a little nervous coming into it just because wasn't sure what was going to happen. You never know with this game with Penguins versus Flyers. But we played a great first period. Crap ton of penalties. I was tweeting for you while you were out, and dear God, I could not keep up. I was tweeting about one penalty as another one was happening. So then I had to delete that one, and then a goal happened, and I had to delete that one. I couldn't get them out fast enough. So honestly, I don't know what else to say. You covered everything. The only other thing is that I didn't know that teams can make trades during a game. That was wild.
Yeah.
Like literally. Yeah,
let's talk about that for a quick second.
So I'm tweeting about one of the penalties, and then we follow that Elliot Friedman. Is that the last name?
Friedman.
Did I get him?
He put out something. Well, hold on. Who is he? Like football's king. Who is he? He's Adam Schefter.
Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport. That type of guy.
That's Elliot Friedman for everyone.
Yeah.
So mid-game, Elliot Friedman tweets.
Yeah. So we get that notification, and I'm like, oh, I saw it. Like you see first few words on the notification. I saw Flyers. I'm like, oh, Elliot may be watching the game. Let's see what he says. So I click it, and it's a trade, and I'm like, what?
Unreal.
What?
Not only a trade. Okay, let's break down the details of this trade.
It's a big NHL trade, to be honest.
Their first round draft pick of this year, 2023 draft, is Guthier, is how you pronounce his name.
Cuddier,
whatever. I don't care. Anyway, he just won gold with the men's, with the World Juniors for the men's.
Yeah.
And
looked
great. That's a guy you want to keep on the Flyers, right? If you're the Flyers, that's youth, that's depth, that's great. He comes out on like a little tiny info thing for the U.S. men's and said, basically, I don't want to play on the Philadelphia Flyers. Okay? You know the whole shtick around this trade? Okay. So he's doing a little promo for the U.S. men's. And they're like, who'd you get drafted by? One guy goes, I got drafted by the Winnipeg Jets. I love the Winnipeg Jets. And they're like panning to him. And he goes, who'd you get drafted by? I got drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers. I don't know how that's going to go. I grew up a Penguins fan. That's what he says to the camera, okay? Not being funny was deadpan. He was like, I got drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers. I don't know how that's going to go. I grew up a Penguins fan. Literally says exactly like that. Well, guess the Flyers saw that footage and go, I don't like that. I don't like the way he's talking about the Philadelphia Flyers. organization. Am I too loud? Am I screaming? Am I screaming right now?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Josh, I'm just passionate. I'm passionate about hockey. And he says, he goes, I don't want to be a Flyers fan. I don't want to be a Flyers player. They go, fine, we'll trade you. And we'll do it during a live broadcast, during a game. We do not have time for this. So it would have been awesome if the Philadelphia Flyers traded him to the Penguins. I thought that would be
yes.
It would have been so
to the
funny.
Team that they're playing against, that would have been awesome.
Unreal. Like we traded like a Rem Petlick for him. That would be unreal.
Yeah.
But I don't know who he traded.
I mean, so the Ducks traded a like NHL ready defenseman
for him
prospect. Yeah, and a second round draft pick in next year's draft. So I mean, both gave up quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a big NHL trade. It was wild that it happened in the middle of the game with the team that we're playing against. But like what I noticed during the intermissions of our game, I was like hopping on Twitter to see what the heck was going on with that trade. That's how like I figured out what happened with everything with what he blatantly said. And then all of Philadelphia is literally just doing like damage control, just saying, well, if you don't want to be a Flyer, you're not going to be a Flyer.
Right.
Like it's just like, okay, well, you just suck at your job because like, honestly, if you did any, due diligence at the draft, you probably would have realized that this guy wasn't going to be the guy and don't draft him.
Now listen, time out on that. Not only that, all right, you need to do your due diligence. You need to understand this guy, where he is mentally. Second of all, as a player, dude, you just got drafted into the National Hockey League. You better be stupid grateful that the Flyers drafted you. Now, listen, I hate the Flyers, okay? More so, I hate the Capitals, okay? But tonight, really ignited that nostalgic rivalry for me. Mm-hmm. But let's pretend 10 years ago, I'm phenomenal at hockey, and I get to the draft, and the Washington Capitals call my name in the first round. I'm grateful. Yeah, do I hate the Capitals? Yeah. But I'm playing in the NHL. I got drafted for the first time. This is unbelievable. This is the happiest moment of my life. I'm not going to go the same day and when I just won World Juniors for my country to then say, yeah, I don't want to play for the Capitals. Capitals suck. They're going to be like, what? Of course, like, honestly, I totally understand both sides. Granted, I do. Now, was this a strategic move by this young guy? Who knows? Maybe he knew they would do something like this. He knew he wanted to get traded. Maybe that was a conversation going on. I don't know. Because I don't know you would trade a guy just because he said, I don't know how that's going to go. I'm a Pittsburgh Penguins. They must have had a conversation with him. He must have said, yeah, I don't like the Flyers. They traded him. Now, the way it shook up, like mid-trade, and Elliot Friedman said, yeah, Briere, which is the Flyers GM, is going to address the media in intermission of a hockey game. That sounds like they fired John Tortorella mid-game, and they're just not having it. But how do you trade a guy mid-game who's not even on the team is baffling to me. Which means he's up in the stands on his phone going to the Ducks. Yeah, you want him? Yeah, you can have him. All right. Hey, I just traded a guy. Oh, we're down 3-1? We're down 3-1 right now? Yeah, second intermission. I'll address the meeting.
It was 2-0 at the time, but yeah, no, I hear you.
Go ahead.
No. What's crazy, just to circle it back, just because we're a Penguins podcast. What was one name that we were throwing around a couple episodes ago about potential trade target?
Josh, don't get angry this early.
No. I'm not saying who we're giving up, but who was someone that someone said that we would go after. You mentioned it too. McTavish. He's a centerman for the Ducks. Who did the Ducks just get? A centerman. There's
So
got to
are
be.
you saying?
Or
Are
is
you
someone
saying?
wait? Is someone at the level of McTavish and to the level of this guy that was just drafted? Are they both going to be, third and fourth centermans? Because I saw someone put up the tweet. Next year they have like the four centers. They're literally gross. They had that guy, whoever, the Cuttier, whatever.
Yeah.
They had him the fourth center lineman because that's how deep they are with center.
So I'll tell you this. I don't want to feed into this trade machine. I don't want to trade. I don't want to. I'll say it. Drew O'Connor looking so good right now.
Stop. No.
Hey, listen.
Raquel.
No, listen. I'm not saying Raquel. I'm just saying.
I'm saying Raquel.
No. Drew O'Connor is looking so good right now that Gensel trade is looking mud. I'm just saying. If Drew O'Connor puts up Gensel numbers, Gens is gone, dude.
The only thing that scares me with Gensel is also what else happened in the NHL today.
William Nylander. Yeah. Holy cow. The dude robbed the bank. He robbed the bank.
$11.5 million per year.
And now Gensel is going, I'm kind of like William Nylander.
Yeah.
And
they literally have identical numbers.
I know they do. They put it up. And they're going to say, this is what Gensel is looking at. If I'm Kyle Dubas, I'm like, I ain't paying that, dude. I left because I knew this contract was coming.
Yeah.
You know? He got Angry Boot, great point. Yeah, Gens is getting 8.5 max. Maybe 9. Maybe 9 in a good world. But he's not good enough to get more. Actually, let me say this. He's good enough to get more than 9, but not on the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Angry Boot, great. Yeah, you said it right when I was saying it. He's not getting $9 million from the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm sorry. He's not getting more than $9 million from the Pittsburgh Penguins. If Drew O'Connor's playing really good, and we're coming up at the trade deadline, and McTavish is available, we'd be idiots not to do that. I love Jake Gensel. I hope he stays. I hope he takes a home discount. But it's money, and it's Stanley Cups, and McTavish is younger. Drew O'Connor is younger. We could build a younger team around the core for a couple more years, and we're lifting Lord Stanley. I rolled up the sleeves for this. Jackson, I don't know about that. Send Raquel back to Anaheim for McTavish? I don't know about that. Let me say this. If we could trade Jake Gensel and you tell me it's for a Stanley Cup, I don't care who we get. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're telling me, hey, we trade Jake Gensel and 2 years we win a Stanley Cup because of the Jake Gensel trade, I don't care who we get in return. Don't care who we get in return. The Pittsburgh Penguins might be better for it. Seriously, might be better for it. Angry Boot doesn't mind McTavish. Listen, Angry Boot, hop on this board, this train. Hop aboard this train. Yeah. Come on. And Jackson made a great point. McTavish will not outperform Jake this year, but he's young. And if he plays with Sidney Crosby,
but he won't because he's a center.
I'd move him. Guess what, youngin? You're a left wing now. I don't know. Let's get off this trade talk for a second. Josh is texting.
Yeah, because
what I'm playing with is the mic stand.
It's loud.
Is it loud?
Yeah.
Jackson, what is going on? Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, figure it out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like this.
It's everything. You may just need to find a spot and just put it. Just let it be.
I can't.
Like the Beatles. Like the Beatles. Let it be.
Beatles are overrated. That's a whole nother conversation. Josh.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying. Just
see, I know that.
But yeah,
that's
I do
loud.
want to get. I do want to
that.
get off this. I do want to get off this just because we have talked about it for a couple
times.
Hold on,
we got a new person to the
What?
chat immediately accusing us. Immediately.
Yeah,
accusing.
no,
First of all,
that's literally
first
what was
of all,
just coming out of my mouth.
Hold on. Welcome to the show, Caitlin. LOL, you guys have been hot on this trading Gensel thing recently. We may be hot on this thing, but we started this trend, okay? We started this trend, Caitlin. Welcome to the show. You are looking at the source of the rumors of trading Gensel. Do we have any sources? No, we do not have any sources. We couldn't even tell you who parks the cars at PPG Paints Arena. But what we can tell you is that if there is a way to win the Stanley Cup by trading Jake Gensel, we're doing it. Once again, no sources whatsoever.
I love how you keep saying we when I was literally in my mouth. The words that I was saying was that I am tired already of talking about this potential trade that may not even happen.
But Josh, we already established 2 months. Listen, we established that Kyle Dubas listens to the show, okay? Mike Sullivan, Sidney Crosby, and the rest of them listen to the show. Jake, I know you're listening to this, so bud, I love you. I want you to take a hometown discount, and I want you to win the Stanley Cup here in Pittsburgh. I want you to play your whole career in Pittsburgh, but you also need to take a friendly deal. You got to take a friendly deal, dude. Please. Okay. Take a friendly deal, win a Stanley Cup. Caitlin says, ha, 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 hi. Sorry, I normally listen to the podcast the following day. Well, thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for joining us today. I'm glad you're joining us.
And you hop on, you get a personalized shout-out. That's what happens.
Shout-out just for you. Welcome. All right, NES is saying, I'm not saying he's traded, but he's traded. I'm just saying, Josh.
How do we we got a hard turn this one.
Ready? Jake Gensel looked fantastic against the Philadelphia Flyers tonight. Okay, everyone looked great, and this is what I was talking about last game. Josh, look how good we did. Can we just take a moment and say, wow,
back to it, 180,
back to it. The guys all filled in the roles, which is exactly what we were talking about. Exactly what we were talking about last game against Buffalo. These guys do not know their roles. This game, everyone came putting brass knuckles on their hands and was going, who do you want me to beat up? Josh, have you ever watched a show called Shoresy?
I've not, no.
Okay. Anyone in the chat have seen Shoresy? Because if you watch that show, he goes, we'll never lose again. All right? And that attitude has changed the team, okay? That we'll never lose again. All right? Sidney Crosby talked to this team, saying, we are never going to lose again. Sidney Crosby looked at every single person in that locker room and said, know your stupid rules. Everyone know. Get down in front of the net. Make sure you're passing tape to tape. Look for the open man. Start shooting the puck. If you have an open lane, shoot the puck. If your guy is on top of Nedeljkovic, throw him into the fourth row of the arena. Get him out of there. Start playing like you guys are a team, and I guarantee you we're a playoff team. Yeah, Jackson is shooting out the main. Is
that a main line in the show?
Yeah, but he talks funny, so he's like, "Give your balls a tug," like he does that. So if I did a good job, if I did a good impersonation of that. I don't know, put like a W in the chat. I don't know what streamers do. Put a W in the chat. That sounded like Shoresy. But hey, Angry Oh man. Thank you guys. But sucks. No, this show does suck, but you know what? We have great people watching it, Josh.
Yeah.
Caitlin bailed as soon as I said that, so she left.
That's okay. Well,
it's all right.
It's harder to join in the chat on Twitter.
Yeah, X,
wherever she is.
X. You can join the conversation on X. but you just gotta.
But
Like
can she see all these other comments? That's what I'm saying.
I don't think she can.
I don't think
She
either.
can. All I know, I'm looking at my Twitter. All I see is that Angry Boot got his tea, and he is watching this podcast. But can you do something?
She's still here. Hey, she's still here. Just saying.
I'm just going to say test. So it's the KP, which I'm assuming it's Caitlin. It's so accusatory. All right. Okay. I did a test. Did that even work on X?
It did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. She's responding. You're good. We're good.
Okay. We're a real show. Yeah, we're on three platforms.
Can I just finish my last thought on this game, and then you can go on whatever rant, whatever tangent, whatever you want.
Make it quick, Josh. Make it quick.
Okay. Tonight's power play, all power plays. Yes, we had some stupid stuff. Okay.
We had some turnovers.
Okay. That's going to happen. We're going to have turnovers. Can't play a perfect game every time. Okay.
Well,
but the passing, the entry into the zone, everything was looking fresh.
Beautiful.
Tonight.
Oh,
fresh.
No, like we actually looked like a cup contender tonight. Like honestly,
yes.
if you just sample size tonight's game, all right, not knowing any of the context before the game, anything, you just took Penguins versus Flyers. Winner wins the cup. We looked absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Not only our PK, we'd sweep them. It's honestly like it's honestly like I don't know how to say it. That game was the game to prove that this team could win a Stanley Cup. Are we going to win a Stanley Cup? I don't know. I have no idea. But what I do know is that this team just proved to me this current roster, everyone on this roster could make a push for the cup.
Yeah.
When everyone buys in, when everyone plays well, this team can do it. I felt like during this game, it made me feel like it was 2016. I don't know if you've been watching the Penguins since 2016, but if you were and you remember that year, every single game felt like win.
Yeah.
Win.
The
dominating win.
What did Sullivan always say going into the right before they come on the ice? Swagger. Bring that swagger.
Swagger. Yep. Resiliency.
Yep.
And that's exactly what we saw. People said Mike Sullivan's way of doing things is done. Crosby, Malkin, Letang, that era, done. Our defense, not good. Just because we brought Carlson doesn't mean anything. Our power play is done. Our penalty kill is done. We just showed everyone wrong tonight.
Yes.
We literally just showed up away in Philadelphia and proved to the entire National Hockey League that this team isn't done. Not only is this team not done, they showed it with a physicality and they showed it with a poise of like, yeah, we could still do this. We could still do that. We could still bring it into the zone and just straight up score on you. Malkin did that with a beautiful pass from Doc. Like, that is the way you want to do that. That's the way you want to do it. And it's a way to shut up the haters is to go into enemy territory and absolutely dominate them in every aspect. Josh talked about the penalty kill and the power play, how that finally looked good. Let's talk about the highlight that kind of everyone's kind of overlooking because we're used to it this season. Nedeljkovic could be a starter anywhere else, okay? He is so good tonight. And not only just good, I said poise before. Don't want to keep on repeating myself, but the calm.
Yeah,
he reminds me
cool, calm, and collected in the crease.
He reminds me of Matt Murray before he started getting bad. On the way of 2016 and 17, when Matt Murray was in net, he could be peppered with 14 shots at once, but he got up and was just relaxed. Yep. That reminded me of how Nedeljkovic was today. People were hopping all over him. He was staying firm. He didn't go out of position. He played the puck well. He knew exactly what he had to do. And he's phenomenal for us right now. If it wasn't for Ned, we'd be in trouble tonight. Not just because we were playing bad, but because they had opportunities. They had shots on net. We played a good team. It's not like we played a bad team. So if it wasn't for Nedeljkovic, we would not have won this game. It would probably go into overtime, or it'd probably go into shootout again. We would probably not have the same result as we did. Nedeljkovic played phenomenal. And Angry Boot said this too, with results of people playing well. Russ was doing good on the first line before his injury. Absolutely. And when he came back, there must be something still going wrong. And I threw up Caitlin's. It kind of feels like they've been playing Ned as if he is 1A. I get that. I hear you. I feel like when he started against, not Buffalo, game before that, who'd we play? Boston. Mm-hmm. Nope. Jari played Boston. No, Nedeljkovic played Boston.
Yeah.
Nedeljkovic played Boston. I tweeted this out, or I texted Josh this.
Oh, yeah. Nedeljkovic did play. Yeah.
I feel like it was a primetime game that should have been Jari's game, but because he played really bad the game before, it was like a slap on the wrist.
And I think tonight was too.
Yes. Hey, we're going into Philadelphia. It's going to be a good game. The boys are buzzing. But guess what? You're taking a seat. Yeah. We always refer back to Miracle. This is a scene. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, and this is what scares me, is that when you keep doing this to Jari, I feel like it's going to rattle his confidence. And that's what you don't need from him right now. Right now, you need to keep saying, yeah, Jari, you're our guy. You're our guy. Let's ride you. Yeah, you'll get a bounce back. You'll get a bounce back game. Because right now, when is there going to be a bounce back game for Jari?
Next game.
Okay, so next
Vancouver.
Game we're playing. Oh yeah, playing Vancouver. Okay, sorry.
At home. That's his game all day.
Okay, so tonight and then Wednesday is Vancouver.
Thursday is Vancouver.
Thursday's Vancouver, and then
we have a couple days break. Then Saturday against.
I'm thinking Carolina.
Carolina. Now I guarantee you, Mike Sullivan. You could type in the chat, bud. Your interviews are over. You probably are watching this. I'm probably in your head. I'm in your kitchen right now. So listen up. If Jari is starting against Vancouver, 1,000%. Yeah. So he's going to start, and depending on how he plays that game, is the starter of Saturday. Done. It's a done deal. If he has another Buffalo game, Nedeljkovic is starting on Saturday. If he plays phenomenal and proves his worth, not proves his worth, I shouldn't say that. I'm being harsh on him. He is really good. He is our goalie one. But if he plays really bad, it's another... Dude, we can't keep on doing this. Not now in this season. We cannot have a slump. Nedeljkovic, you're in net.
Yeah.
So, you're right. You're absolutely right. We need to be more encouraging of him. But it's also, he is our last line of defense. So if he's struggling, the defense is going to struggle. And if he's struggling, the offense is going to struggle. Just like we talked about with the Buffalo. It was just like when the boys got deflated, we didn't need another goal to go in. He is supposed to help us just as much as the offense is supposed to help him. It's always circling. So
it's cyclical, because what happens is, like you said, when the goaltender is solid back there, that alleviates the pressure off of the defense, and then from there it frees up the offense, because then the offense isn't forcing anything to score. Like tonight's a perfect example. Defense was clicking, goaltender was clicking, so now the offense was just free flowing. And no, it didn't feel like at all we were forcing offensively. A couple times on the power play, sure, but we've been forcing all year on the power play. But everything else just felt very free flowing with offense. And I agree. I agree with what you're saying in terms of everything about that. Absolutely. And I think that is a good point about going into Vancouver, that if Jari puts up a good game, that very well could be his launching pad
Bounce back.
to more starts, being back to that 1A as opposed to 1B that Caitlin was referring to with the 2, because in the beginning of the year, it was a clear Jari 1, Nedeljkovic 2. And that's what it was for a while. And then it was Jari 1A, Ned 1B. And then it flipped. And then it became Ned 1A, Jari B2. And I think that's where we're at right now, which is what you and the chat are referring to. But
yeah, I mean, I get that.
I'd love to see it flipped back.
Me too. I want Jari to be our franchise goaltender, and I hope it doesn't come off like I want Nedeljkovic to be our goaltender. All I'm saying is Nedeljkovic is outperforming Jari currently. And whenever you have that, there's a lack of confidence in the starter, and there's not much you can do from a coaching standpoint. There's not much you can do. What are you going to do? Not ride the hot hand? You have to. You have to. You want your team to win. It's not like if Crosby was having a down get, you're not going to move him from the first line. You're going to keep him there and put someone up there to help motivate him, right? You can't do that with a goaltender. If a goaltender starts losing his confidence, he might as well not play. You know, like you have to figure out what's best for the team, and that is exactly what's going to happen. We got a beautiful win tonight, and it was thanks to Nedeljkovic. But now the focus goes back onto the boys rather than Nedeljkovic. It goes, okay, you guys played a phenomenal game. Jari on Wednesday, I'm on Thursday. It's all you, dude. That's you. You're going to help us win another game. You're going to do it. And as soon as he wins, you're going to hear the announcement. He is starting on Saturday. But everyone played phenomenal. Yeah. Definitely Nedeljkovic played phenomenal. So I just want to do you have anything else to add before we kind of go into the chat and get a little tiny thoughts of what they say? So, well, before Josh goes into his next little thing, if you guys have any comments, if you guys have any thoughts that you want us to talk about, put it in the chat right now. And then it'll give you some time to think of something while Josh is going, and then we will move in to the chat and to the Tempenture
of
Go for it, Josh.
So like what we were talking about with Ned having a good performance tonight, you know, you were also talking about everyone else who was playing well tonight, and a lot of names started popping up in the chat. Drew O'Connor, Haskins, and
Harkins.
Harkins. God, I don't think I'll ever get that right.
He's the hardest one.
No, it's the easiest one.
I'm sorry. He's the easiest one. Sorry.
I automatically think of the former football player, but whatever. Harkins and Drew O'Connor and Jeff Carter and all those guys. Raquel played great tonight. So just want to touch quickly and briefly on all of them. Another name that I saw in there was Graves.
He looked better.
He looked better. I think that is his role now. I think it's not so much the third pairing, it's the pairing with a defensive defenseman. Like that's what Chad Ruhwedel is. Like
he's not an offensive defenseman.
Yeah. I mean, look at his goal tonight. It wasn't, an elite snipe from the blue line, and it's his first of the year. So he's a defensive defenseman. So that's where Graves is allowed to just play a little bit more freely, as I was discussing, in the offensive zone. So now we're not criticizing him so hard when he is doing that, but yet can't get back on defense. Well, now because you had him paired with Carlson, and they were both trying to, score from the blue line. So it didn't always work. But now it just seems like it's a better fit for him in the pairing, and hopefully he'll get into a groove and start producing. Not just goals, but just start playing better. And then in terms, you mentioned Drew O'Connor and how well he was playing. Jeff Carter, he's had some flashes these last few games. He's just not.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's
What
just
you
not
saying?
he's just not burying it. You know, a couple
Yes.
games ago, I think it was Boston, that was right on the doorstep, and his stick literally got stuck on the goalie twice. And
Oh yeah.
then last game, he same thing, just wasn't able to bury it. The stick was right I mean, the puck was right there, just couldn't get a stick to it. And then tonight, same thing. He's right there. Right there. He's in front of the net and just couldn't bury it. So I love to see it. I love to see Jeff Carter in front of the net because I mean he's a big body dude. It's
Yeah.
what he
Put
can
him
do.
there.
And then
Put him there. Go ahead.
lastly, another name that I saw in the chat was Harkins. Yes, he's taking penalties. Yes, he's not the most elite scorer. But the one thing that I've been noticing out of him is what we started noticing early on with Drew O'Connor: speed and passing. So he's got the speed and he's got elite passing. Some of these passes that he is like teeing up for these guys,
He's
they are
finding guys.
they are crisp, they're fast, they're right where they need to be.
Yeah.
So everything else will come
Well,
with
not
it.
only I want to add something to Harkin's play.
Yeah.
His forecheck and back check looks good too, guys. Like
yeah, but that's
not
that's what caused the penalties too. Like
no, but I
it's
understand. You're
a give and
sometimes you're
take type
going to,
thing.
similar to Malkin, right? You play too hard, you're going to get called. But like when you see those guys go down and like actually get into the play and all that stuff, that's what you want from those key role guys. He reminds me of a Pascal Dupuis. You know, he's not elite scorer, but he's willing to do the dirty work to get the job done. He's willing to do the dirty work to get the puck, to pass it to another pass to a goal. Those are the guys you want on your team, and those are the guys who are going to help you win a Stanley Cup. So I really liked a lot from Harkins tonight.
Yeah. Thank you, William, for agreeing with me. I just saw it in the chat about Harkins. But yeah, I mean, I think that those were all the names that I saw in the chat. But I do like games like tonight where it's like it's a good game, so we're able to praise all the little guys who did little things to help us win. So it's nice.
I want to say it's always easier to find the little things that went right in a win.
Yes.
In a loss, those things go out the window. Unfortunately,
I don't care about them right now.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, that back check was phenomenal, but we lost 7-1. You know, it's like it's like you don't care. You know, but these little things are so nice to acknowledge when we win. We do have to do better at acknowledging them when we lose in the sake of hockey. But as of right now, it's only easy to be like, man, Harkins played great tonight. We won 4-1 against a divisional rival. It's just, you know, it's just stuff like that. But Josh, now it's time to get into the chats. Now it's time to hear what you have to say about tonight's game, and me and Josh will talk about it. Angry Boot coming in on YouTube saying, I feel like the refs went from calling little things to the Flyers to calling absolutely nothing in the second period. Is it me, or is reffing super inconsistent this season? Do you want to take this? Do you want me to take it?
I know you got a really solid
grasp
and take on this, so go ahead.
Okay. All right. So first of all, you got to understand one thing about NHL and their inconsistency in reffing. It's all up to the ref's perception to make a call. So if he feels like that's not hooking, but other refs do, that's where you get so much inconsistency between games, because it's not the same refs who ref each one. So you're going to have some guys who are going to call everything, some guys who are not. And with the guys who are not, or sometimes when it wavers in between games, it all depends about the flow of the game. So the Penguins got really heated with the Flyers in the second period. Sometimes you got to let the boys play, because if you don't let them play, the third period stuff happens, right? So you see how everything reacted, and did you see how quick the ref was to call Malkin gone, Letang gone? The reason why he did that is because he doesn't want it to get out of hand. So there's stuff that he'll call in the first period to kind of set the tone of the game. Like, hey, I'm going to be watching that kind of stuff. And then later in the second period, it got a little more rowdy. So he's like, okay, I'm going to let them play because clearly they're all in it. And then all of a sudden got a little too much. So he reined it back. So that's some of the reasons why the reffing has seems so inconsistent. I see it on X all the time. A lot of people are saying like, "Whoa, this reffing team calls everything. This other, well, it's all perception. And it's all about how the game is. The game have high stakes? Is it nationally televised? Is it stuff like that? Are we trying to teach the game of hockey? Are we not trying to teach the game of hockey? Are these teams like it's the Battle of Pennsylvania, Battle of Alberta? There's going to be games where the refs are going to be like, no, it's going to be a rough one, guys. Like, we got to be careful on how we call it and who we call it for and who we call it against. Like, if the Penguins got a penalty and it was on Sidney Crosby for, like, hooking and Crosby did not like it, the fans would erupt. Everything would erupt, and then they have a wacky game because the Flyers will feel like they have too much momentum and all that stuff. So you sometimes you don't do that. So that is the reason why you see a lot of inconsistency from the refs. Was that a good answer, Josh?
Yeah, it was a good answer. And I think also you have to realize that I think NHL is the number one sport when it comes to coaches, players, refs, relationship. NFL, they're getting there, but I think NHL has had it for a while now. Refs and players will literally just banter back and forth, and the ref will come up, "Hey, I missed that on previous play. I'll get you next time." Like they will clearly acknowledge, "Hey, we missed it. I'll get one back for you."
We'll make up for it by calling another thing.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll make it up. And then the coaches will have lengthy conversations with refs about calls and missed calls all the time. Just look at last game. Mike Sullivan had a lengthy conversation after the first intermission with the refs. Maybe the why am I blanking on the Flyers head coach? What's his name?
John Tortorella.
Thank you, John Tortorella. Maybe he had a conversation with the ref saying, "What the heck was that first period? Can we chill it with the penalties, please?" And maybe they did. And then once it did start getting rowdy, and at the end, that's when they're like, "Okay, well, hey, coach, now we got to handle this." So I think that's where it got a little bit back into calling the plays. The penalties, but. Yeah.
Well, that was
a really good answer.
We also saw it in the game against Buffalo with the 2 overturned calls. After the first period, excuse me, Mike Sullivan called over the refs. Now, this is not what you see in NFL, not in NBA, anything.
That's what I said.
But he called him over and was like, "What are you doing?" There's no other sport where you can challenge the ref's call outright like you could do in the NHL. And it is because of what Josh said and the relationship that they built. So inconsistency, there's so many variables with the NHL. Let's see what else. Go ahead. There's a lot of chat
on the ref thing. Just because I thought it was really cool, and I don't know if we ever really discussed it. The first game of the year, it was Crosby and Bedard in the center face-off.
They mic'd them up.
I thought it was cool.
I thought it was so cheesy, dude.
Sid, welcome back.
Connor, welcome to the NHL. Let's get this thing going. It's like, I don't know if I like that. I see, honestly, I feel like that's so staged and we're trying to make a highlight of it. We might as well have a puck drop, a ceremonial puck drop in the center for it. I don't know. I just don't like it. But I hear babies crying. I feel like there's dad duty coming its way.
Just 1 minute.
1 minute. I'll answer some questions while Josh is gone. All right. William comes in on YouTube saying, also so high on Puustinen. Man got a cool style out there. I don't know if he'll always be consistent, but much more enjoyable than Zahorna and such. I think Puustinen is a valuable asset for the Penguins going forward. I honestly thought he wasn't ready. He was obviously playing very well in Wilkes-Barre Scranton. And then he got called up and then he played good, but didn't meet up to standards, got sent back down. And then on his second call up again, he stayed this time. I think he's playing super well. He reminds me of, like, we were just talking about Harkins and the way he's playing. Pusanen is on like the more um skilled aspect of it, where it's, yeah, I'm trying to say it in a not like a mean way against Harkins. Harkins is a very physical player. Very physical player. Pusanen is more of a skills player, right? He's not going to go in for the check, but he's going to go for the pass. He's going to go for the shot. That's what Pusanen is on the level of Harkins. And I think it's really good. I think that's something solid that you want from Pusanen and from these younger guys, similar to Drew O'Connor. You want to see these guys come into their own with playing, and I think Pusanen has. He definitely has. I feel like he's only going to get better, right? But he is coming into the system that Mike Sullivan has created really well, and I can't wait to see what he does going forward. Josh probably has an opinion on that, but we're going to move on to the next chat. I hope I answered that, William. All right, we're talking about the refs. Yeah. Buffalo game. Buffalo game had me yelling. My wife had me off the couch. Solid answer. Thank you. Also, God, we're putting some power play. Okay. Yeah. All right, let's put this up again. William coming back on YouTube. Also, glad to see we're putting in some power play goals in. Percentage isn't high, but just get some goals is nice to see. 100%. So there was some Twitter X. Are they tweets? X zits. What are they, Josh?
They're still tweets.
They're still tweets, but it's X. All right. Well, there were some tweets on X that I saw that were just saying like, "Oh, the power play's back." Let's pump the brakes with the power play talk. All right, let's pump the power. I commented on a tweet, but I saw other tweets like it saying, "Hey, power play's back. Penguins are back." I wouldn't say the power play's back. We got Todd Reardon is still there, ladies and gentlemen. The power play's not back. But yes, I'm very happy to see some power play goals go in, especially what Josh was saying earlier in the podcast. We looked good on the power play, right? So sometimes it needs to pass the eye test, as Josh always say, and we did. We in fact passed the eye test. It looked like we had a functional power play today, and it did pay off. Would we like to see more goals? 1,000%. A good power play is a good, successful hockey team. So I would love for us to get better. But yeah, I want more goals too. I want to get people down in front of the net and let Carlson keep on being that quarterback 100%. Joe, welcome to the chat from YouTube. Anytime we beat the Flyers, it warms my heart. Dude, it warms my heart. I love beating divisional rivals, especially when I said it was a do or die. It definitely was a do or die tonight. We had our panic buttons ready to go, but we get to put it back on the shelf because the Penguins defeat the Flyers in wonderful fashion. But Josh, I want to get back to the power play. Williams' original comment. This is his second comment, but your thoughts on the power play. And are we back?
Yeah, I think William nails it here, and you said it perfectly well. You said it perfectly as well. It's not officially back, but to see us looking more organized, looking more like a power play unit together, I think that's what will get us the goals down the line. Because probably for about maybe 3-4 games now, we've had better opportunities, better chances, better, I don't want to call them plays, but like just the way that we are setting up formations in the offensive zone just looks better. And I think it all starts with not letting Malkin have it for 30 seconds. Dance around with it for a little bit, feed it to Malkin for a shot, quick one-timer, or, allow him to dance with it for like 10 seconds and then, move on. I don't know if that's coaches talking to him or him just realizing on his own that he can't, hold on to it that long. But I think that had a lot to do with it. And that was something that was frustrating you earlier in the year was that he was holding it forever and just not letting the play materialize. Tonight, you saw it perfectly. Pass, backdoor, Raquel, boom. And not only on that one generated a goal, but now we were able to do the same thing over and over and over again. Set up the cross ice, the cross formation passes where they're just going straight across. We weren't able to score, but those plays are there. The net is open. It'll connect one of these times and we'll get more goals, and then we'll be back.
Definitely. William, before I'll get to that. William, we don't look scared on the power play as much. It's not good, but we're not as nervous. Yeah, like I said,
fair.
It's Josh said it earlier, and I just said it recently. We're not forcing anything on the power play, and we looked like we know what we're doing on the power play finally. So is that in the step in the right direction? I hope so, because we have a game on Thursday that would really mean a lot to just downright get every goal we can on the power play. So I guarantee you they're going to use that as momentum going forward. Angry Boot comes in saying, do we play them again this season? I'm pretty sure February 25th.
I think we do one more time.
February 25th. So the Penguins just tweeted out 11 minutes ago saying again on February 25th. So I'm assuming we play the Flyers February 25th. So that is when we play them next. But our next game, the Pittsburgh Penguins are back in town. And we face off the Vancouver Canucks. The Vancouver Canucks are just like the Penguins. Not good right now. So if the Penguins can beat them and get a confidence win, that is great. Especially 2 days after that, we're facing the Carolina Hurricanes, the divisional rival, for another win. We will be home. Home. William's coming in. Being a Vancouver Canucks fan over here. William, what's going on? Are you saying the Vancouver Canucks are better than the Pittsburgh Penguins? What are you trying to say over here?
Well, we are 9-3-1 lately.
Yeah. So,
Just saying.
Yeah, but he's saying the Vancouver Canucks are cooking. We're not cooking. So he's saying
you're saying we're not cooking.
That Buffalo game would prove otherwise, Josh. Just because we had a great win, let's not forget that we're still 7th in the Metropolitan. Oh, they're first in the Pacific? Ooh, but it's the Pacific.
Yeah, so they just beat the Rangers. They just beat the Devils.
So it's a hard game.
They are coming in hot. And before that, they beat the Senators. All three in 2 out of 3 games. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. 3 out of the last 5 games, they scored over 6 goals. So, yeah.
All right. They're good.
They're cooking.
They're good.
William's right. They're cooking.
But guess what? Guess who's not cooking anymore? We're kicking them out of town. Joe comes in saying that Jim Rutherford is back in town and we are not saving him a seat. We're going to block off his booth, saying you're no longer welcome in this arena.
Yeah.
Yes. So Joe comes in on YouTube saying always a measuring stick to play this team. I like that. This is definitely if they are cooking. And honestly, I think now that William says
sounds like they're cooking. He's saying to check the highlights. I'm gonna have to.
I'm not watching anything, William. But I will say it is going to be an intense game. Jari's playing, so Jari needs to step up if they are cooking, and so does our power play. That needs to step up. We need to win this game to get the boys back rolling. This should give a lot of confidence to the Pittsburgh Penguins going forward. Vancouver, if they're cooking, it's going to be a good test. A good test to see where we're at. Josh.
I got a question for you.
You got a question for me?
Yeah, if Nedeljkovic gets the start, are you concerned?
Oh, yeah. If Nedeljkovic gets to start on Thursday over Jari, Jari is now our backup goaltender.
Yeah.
Or no. I was gonna say he's injured and they don't want to tell us, so they're just putting him as backup. But I don't think they would do that.
I think they would.
Yeah, Mike Sullivan's very secretive about injuries. So especially if the media's been on him about Jari's health, and if Jari's hurt, they could be hiding it.
Yeah.
Is that against the NHL rules? I don't know.
But
I don't know. That's a good question. Good question.
Yeah.
When we have Gary Bettman on our podcast next week. We don't have Gary Bettman on our podcast next week.
Gary Bear.
Gary Bear, hey, what's up with the inconsistency with the refs?
Just start calling them out.
Just like, hey, what's going on? Are we getting more hockey teams? So, but where was I?
Thursday.
Good test. Thursday, going to be a good test. Jari definitely needs to start. If he doesn't, definitely concerning about Jari's position, whether he's healthy or if he's not our number one anymore. Nedeljkovic definitely just proved that he could be a number one, but I know he knows his role. Jari's probably getting the start on Thursday. We're facing the Vancouver Canucks, 7 o'clock in Pittsburgh. Go buy a ticket and overpay on Ticketmaster, and go support the team, and I guess support Ticketmaster. And we'll be there. We'll be live after the game as always. We love to see your beautiful icons in the chat. Make sure you guys.
No one has their face.
No one does. I think Angry Boot had it for a bit. I think Angry Boot had theirs. Katie had hers.
Oh, you're calling her Katie? It's Caitlin, but whatever. Oh, Jackson.
I thought it was Katie.
His face is there.
Yeah, let's all call out our users, Josh, who have their picture on there.
And
Jackson
I'm
does.
Just saying it is Caitlin. Just saying.
Yeah, but not on Twitter, Josh. Not on X. Not on X, Josh.
It said
it's
on
the
chat.
KP.
It says Caitlin.
Oh, it is Caitlin.
Yeah, I told you. Just saying. Like William, he's got William. Like I'm not gonna just start calling him Billy. I may not be his
Willie.
Maybe. Or Will. Or Will I am.
Or William? Willie? Do you like that? Rosie comes in the chat. Welcome, Rosie. We're wrapping up here, but he says, I miss Ludwig. So do I, because he would have been phenomenal in this game. He would be punching everybody left and right. And maybe that's exactly why he didn't play. Maybe Mike Sullivan was like...
He's hurt.
Oh, he's hurt?
Yeah, he's on IR.
I miss him.
That's why he hasn't been playing.
Wait,
you thought he's just been benched?
No, I thought he played last game against Buffalo.
Nope.
He was hurt?
Dude,
we suck at our podcast. I thought he was playing.
No,
that's all right.
He's been hurt. But
guys, I'm busy, dude.
But then again, it's that mysterious where it's like they put him on IR like retroactively. So like meaning that he's been hurt. So it's just
now
like
I'm caught up. I'm back.
I hate that.
Yeah. I get it.
Okay.
All right, it's fine. Definitely fine. All right. I knew that. So Ludwig is hurt, guys. Come on. We should know this. And he would have been fighting so hard. I would have, if I was Mike Sullivan and I had a healthy Ludwig, I wouldn't bench him. I would throw him out there, especially after that whole brawl when Letang got like speared in the face. I would have sent out Ludwig and been like, dude, just pick a guy. Pick the biggest guy. Shank him, you know? So definitely that's what I would do against the Philadelphia Flyers. You definitely want to send a message, especially towards a buddy like John Tortorella, than Mike Sullivan. They're friends. Okay. Willie, or Billy comes in saying that why crappy P.O. Joseph is playing. Yeah, Joseph's not looking so good. He was kind of the future of our defense like 2 years ago, and now he's
supposed to be.
All right, William Clapback. He said, "Louise, remember laughing on that was good. Good clap back there, Billy. Good clap back. That's pretty good. I'll give you that. I'll tip my hat to that.
Now, hold on here. If that is a typo, William, do not confess.
Do even
not.
Better, dude.
Let it ride.
Yeah. I think if he did it on purpose, even better, dude. It's good either way. All right. Josh, we hit our hour mark, These people are sick and tired of hearing us. Let's get them to bed. It's 11 o'clock. We played a phenomenal game against the Philadelphia Flyers. We beat the pooping Flyers 4-1 in Philly. Thursday is our next game against Vancouver Canucks. 7 o'clock start. We'll be tweeting throughout the whole game. We'll be going live on X, YouTube, and Twitch. Make sure you guys get on there. Make sure you're chatting like you're doing today. We love to see it. Rosie, thanks for stopping by. Josh, where can these people listen to the audio podcast form?
Yeah, so if you're not able to catch us live and you need to listen to us the day after, like Caitlin, apparently, shout out. That's the way she listens. You can find us on Spotify and wherever you listen to any other favorite podcast. That's Apple Podcasts. That's Google Podcasts.
Yeah.
Amazon. Yep. Wherever you listen to your podcast. iHeartRadio. Wherever you're currently listening to us. Wherever you hear our voice. Just make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, whatever the platform offers. We just ask that you just do that as a favor to us. And then it allows us to be spread out to others so that we can grow this chat, grow the following, and make the Penguins Collective even bigger.
Yeah, and that's all thanks to you guys. So we appreciate you. Seriously, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for telling other people about it. No ads today. No need to ruin the day with some ads. But hey, let's have a great day. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Thank you so much for stopping by. And Josh, as always,
go blue. I mean, let's go Pens.
Josh, don't you? We're a Penguins podcast. Don't you even